education and business, I've become more sensitive to the needs of people. More importantly, I've become more aware of Kathy Vernon. For me, success is important and can only be achieved by keeping my feet planted firmly on the ground and reaching for the stars.
우리 부모님이 언제 셀보온에서 돌아왔느냐고 묻기에 주인마님의 사회 활동에 대해서는 말할 처지가 아니라고 대답하고는 전화를 끊었어요. 이게 전부예요. 제 말을 못 믿으세요, 집사장님?
아, 로즈가 말한 것이 모두 사실이었습니다. 하지만 네가 소식을 흘렸을까 생각이 돼. 앞으로 신문사에서 어떤 전화가 오면은 즉시 내게 알려줬으면 한다.
딴 속셈은.
次のレシピは絶対にどう食べちゃうんですか。さあこれ田中君さ食べちょうだいよ。ほら熱いよ。ほらお箸を持ってほらツルツルツルツルツルはいツルツルはいいける食べるんじゃないか。ほらツルツルツルツルほらいったほらまたもほら一息に一息に一息に一息にほらうわ
Well, all I can tell you about Mr. X is that he provides a service.
Well, as I hope you've gathered from that opening, we've been spending the last few months looking at examples of everyday television from all over the world. 34 different countries, 822 videotapes, 413 hours of viewing, and 3 cans of industrial-strength Optrex. Well, let me tell you straight away, the most comforting thing we discovered. The real essential stuff of television doesn't vary. It's the same the whole world over. All around this green globe, there are pop singers saying, well, musically, the group had got about as far as it could go. There are Hollywood stars saying, well, living apart has actually strengthened our marriage. There are best-selling authors saying, by the time I got to the second chapter, the characters had taken on a life of their own. And there are young, up-and-coming actresses saying, only if it's essential to the plot. But that, you see, was the sort of material we looked at, not those highly distinguished award-winning programs of the type that's led a whole generation of Americans to believe that Claudius was a Roman emperor whose first name was Ike. No, we worked on the theory that what's most fascinating about another country's television is not its banknotes, but its small change. In the event, the exercise turned out more or less like eating an artichoke. You have to go through so much to wind up with so little. A phenomenon I also remember from my courting days. But one aspect of it that we all liked were the occasional glimpses it gave us of other people's eating and drinking habits. Now, take Japan. They have 2 contradictory facts of life to contend with out there in the land of the rising Sony. One is that they eat a lot of steaming hot noodles, and the other is that so many of them wear glasses.
メガネって汚れるね。
メガネの汚れ取りにはメガネクリンピューよ。
えい、お待ちどう。さてと。あれあれ
メガネの曇り止めにもメガネクリンピューよ。
なるほど、なるほど。メガネ好き。
I've got a little head start here. I went ahead and browned my steak. This is a round steak. It's 2 pounds. I had to cut it in 2 to get it to fit in my pan. You brown it very slowly until it's brown.
Thai, an extensive training program has been introduced for our new service to America. We're acquiring new culinary techniques.
Hot dog. Hot dog. ใช่ hot dog แล้วเวลาจะทานจะต้องใส่กระต้นหอมเรายังไม่พอ
Oh, here in Mexico, we found a late-night chat show where one guest's eating habits proved a real conversation stopper. Incidentally, we must warn any children viewing, this is not something you should try.
va a pasar los cristales con agua.
The breakfast flakes for wide awakes. Wheaties. Wake up to breakfast value at $1.09 and save a big 12 cents. You won't miss this week's mighty weighty Wheaties value, will you?
While that's doing that, I want to step back over here and see how the onions and peppers are doing. And they're sauteing. You need to saute these about 5 minutes or until they're clear. After they get to that point, you'll want to put your steak back in, add 1 can of tomatoes, mix this well, add 1 can of tomato sauce, mix it well. Turn your burner down to a low setting, and you'll want to simmer this about an hour or until the steak is tender.
The guru of glop. I could just tell you something else about that recipe. It was for just 2 people. If they gave me a steak that size, I wouldn't know whether to eat it or lace it up and wear it. But it's in little towns like that lady came from, Biloxi, Mississippi, that they're fooling around, or around, with one of the most sophisticated television developments we came across, a little gadget that gives subscribers to cable TV stations the opportunity of becoming part of the program that they're watching. Now, this is it. You just hire one of these, then any time someone talking on your screen has a question of burning social importance which he'd like to know your views on, he simply gives you a cue to press whichever response button represents your opinion. Everyone's answers then go straight down a cable to the TV station computer, where they're immediately analysed, and within 6 seconds, the percentage of yeses, nos, and maybes comes up on the screen. Interactive video is what they call it, but with all its potential for community participation and audience involvement, can you guess the sort of program it's mainly used for?
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and
Yeah, you guessed it. Talent contest. You see, what you do is you sit at home and you watch with that little console in your hand, and then when they give you the cue, you vote for him. You say yes or no. You touch one of the buttons, see? Now, if he gets under 50%, his career is at an end. You see, so what you do, you wait till the score comes up. You watch. He can score a possible 100%. How many have the viewers given him? Well, when you know the result, 36%. Bango has chances of being top of the heap, king of the hill. They make a rude noise, and there you are, back to the day job.
telling of the rains in the valley.
Now, this lady, she wore out her welcome very soon. It was actually a bit frayed when she came on. But when they began touching, she came up with, out of 100%, a rather record low. Back to Hawaii, love. And Bango, their chances of becoming society entertainers. Yeah, they go 37%. Now, this next chap, now, he's quite interesting. You see, why they say begin touching rather than touch now is that you touch the buttons all the time. He started at 86%. He's gone down to 56% and falling. He's got to do something to retrieve his audience. So what show business trick does he pull out the back? He moves his left leg. And what His ratings soar. There you are. He's it. The mysterious power a performer can gain over his audience by simply moving his left foot. Well, how do you think Frankie Vaughan got started? Now, something that was fascinating to see emerging all over the world's television was a preoccupation with the theme of feminism. Because while the movement towards equal rights for both sexes has made its impact over here, or so I was told by my Avon man, it was surprising how often we found it cropping up in programs that came from countries which are usually considered to be somewhat macho.
Senza mostrarsi a uomini, eh? Bate bastante. Mata! Porque é a última vez que você encosta a mão em mim. É a última vez, entendeu?
Pero, ¿cómo lo haces? A mí las blusas de mi mujer nunca me quedan. Cariño, adivina qué te ha hecho tu hombrecito.
Sopa.
Sí, pero con el sabor especial que le da una pastilla de caldo quíntuple.
¿Caldo quíntuple?
Sí, porque te quiero. Ridículos los señores, ¿verdad? Pues igual de ridículas quedan las señoras en las mismas situaciones. No es ya momento de cambiar la imagen de la mujer.
Mind you, I still maintain the feminist movement won't really have triumphed till A, we're given a quiz program called Mistress Mind, B, Charlie hires an ugly angel, and C, television puts on a game show where a female host presides over a weepy team of over-emotional males. Now, on the subject of game shows, that's a branch of low-forehead entertainment where America reigns supreme. Each show features a different form of what you might call bargain debasement. Every question master looks like the kind of man whose aftershave lotion enters a room about 15 seconds before he does. And all the contestants have eyes in which you can almost see the glow of dollar signs. Well, after being obliged to watch untold hours of that mix of jackpots and sex pots, all I can tell you is I loved every minute.
Thank you. Welcome to The Price is Right. We are so happy to have you with us again tonight, and we're going to do our best to make you happy, too. Here we go. Here's the first item up for bids, and The Price is Right. It's a telephone booth. Furnished by Jordan and Scott, your own personal, customized telephone booth. And I want the first bid of the night from you, Donald. 503. 503, an interesting bid. Kathy?
$400.
$400. Geraldine?
$470.
470. Sheila?
$475.
475. And the actual retail price is $531. Come on, Donald. Let's play a pricing game. Let's play a pricing game right back here, Donald. Are you with me? He sure is. He's right behind me. Donald, tonight we want to get things off to an exciting start. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Oh, very much.
It's off to an exciting start for you already, isn't it?
Good, yes.
Donald, it's going to get more exciting if you win this. A new car!
Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome to Three's a Crowd. Each of these three husbands about to find out who really knows him best, his wife or his secretary. Gentlemen, how much money does your wife have tied up in the outfit she's wearing tonight? And this is not counting jewelry. Lee?
That piece of garbage, I think she's got about $8.95.
$8.95. Gals, how much money does your boss's wife have tied up in the outfit that she's wearing tonight, Leslie? Not counting jewelry.
Oh, well, let's see. I'm pretty good at this. I'd say about, $30.
$30?
Yes.
Lee told us it was about $8.95.
You're the one that bought it for her.
Well, I was being kind. You told me to economize.
You told her to buy cheap clothes for your wife?
Yeah, very cheap that way.
You should see what he buys for me.
What has he bought for you?
Shall I tell him?
Me as well, Leslie.
Oh, great outfit for a convention.
For a convention?
Yes.
What sort of an outfit was it?
Oh,
Just a simple black frock? What?
a simple, no, brown this time.
We're getting deeper, and when she gets out here, I'm going to get killed.
And ladies, how much money do you have tied up in the outfit you are wearing right now, exclusive of jewelry? June. Outfit you chose for the show today. How much money have you got tied up in it, not counting your jewelry?
Maybe $65.
$65. Lee told us you had... Lee, let me take a look at that card. Lee?
You have to see it?
Hi, Lee. We were talking about your wife's clothes. Why would you be worried? $8.95.
I was close. Martians?
Don't you think that's a nice outfit, Lee?
Yeah, it looks nice, but
cheap.
But cheap, yeah.
The Getcher isn't going to like that very well.
Leslie, tell June what you said.
I gave her the benefit. I said about 30, because when I bought it, I had to tell him I spent 30. You bought it? You mean to tell me you didn't tell her I bought that? You mean to tell me you told her you went out and bought it?
You have a place where you can hide?
Who do you think bought your birthday present and your Christmas present? Are you serious? But you did the Christmas before he did.
God.
But you don't know what I
You mean she's buying your gifts and you...
Now, wait a minute. I bought the Christmas present for you.
No, you didn't. If you did...
You didn't get what I bought.
I hope not.
What did you get, Leslie?
Yes, Leslie, what did you get?
Welcome back to the dating game. Well, Dixie had a little time to think about those hellos, but now you can find out something serious about the guys. Are you ready? Okay, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Have a lot of fun, gentlemen. Good luck, and here we go.
Bachelor number one.
Yeah.
Do you actually believe that this is going to become a serious relationship, or are you just here to get on TV?
I'm here to get on your TV with you. Any place. It doesn't make a difference. I'll do it on the radio, behind the stereo. It's okay.
My TV? I don't have a TV.
Well, even a is perfect. Whatever you like, diagonal across. It's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm loose. Okay.
Number two, same question.
No, I don't care for TV. I like radio because what you do, you don't want to show. So if you pick me, we'll have a long way to go. And if it don't make sense, come and see me sometime soon. Bye, Vic.
Bye. Number three, do you actually believe that this is going to become a serious relationship?
I certainly hope so. I wouldn't be wasting my time sitting here. You know?
Okay.
I mean, wait a minute. I wouldn't be wasting my time. I want to meet a woman with substance. I gotta wear a cardboard belt. I could be other places, but I want to meet you. I think it should develop into something.
Which one will it be? Will it be bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, or bachelor number 3? Who's the lucky guy?
Number 1.
Number 1. Number 1.
Arlene, what would you like to bid on this showcase? Arlene, I have to...
$7,000.
You win, Arlene. This is Johnny Olson after the taping telling you that the winning contestant, Arlene, recovered immediately from the shock of her wing and is delighted with her prize.
All artists performing on AIR will now be able to use the harmonium as an accompaniment. The decision has been taken by the Minister for Information and Broadcasting following representations received from musicians. The use of the harmonium was banned in 1940 following the recommendations made by the Station Directors Conference. There was, however, another school of thought which continued to represent in the government for relaxation of the ban. It was decided in 1971 that top-ranking artists and A-grade artists should be allowed to use the harmonium if they so desired.
Now, what possible outrage could a harmonium have committed to keep it off all India radio for nearly half a century? You figure it out. But because that eyebrow-elevating item was typical of many you can run across when you eavesdrop on other people's programs, here's a few more moments that made us go, huh?
The next time you're awakened by a cramp in your leg, take a firm hold of your upper lip with your thumb and index finger and maintain a constant pressure for about 20 to 30 seconds. Hard as it is to believe, the cramp should disappear. If you're wondering why pinching your lip should relieve a cramp in your toe, the doctors who devised this technique have absolutely no idea.
Hon lever alltså ensam. Ensam? Ja, är du klok? Du, jag är dökär. Du, han ska flytta hem till mig på måndag. Vem då? Vem då? Men det är klok. Nu får du väl ge det.
Those who suffer from severe arthritis, the majority of whom are women, sexual activity is often too painful to be enjoyed. And yet, ironically enough, it has now been established that for some people, intercourse can actually relieve arthritic pain for up to 8 hours.
Caroni and the old Trinidad Sugar and General Workers Trade Union are meeting today at St. Madeleine to discuss a work stoppage by more than 300 cultivation workers. The workers are attached to the Bronte and Petty Mourne sections. And if we can get that feedback into the studio off, I think it'll be better to put the news across.
How do you feel about the possibility of our declaring war on Canada?
War in Canada?
Yes. The latest news at 4 o'clock today.
I don't think it's a good idea at all.
How about you, sir?
I think we should drop the bomb on them.
Why?
Because they speak 2 languages up there. I never did trust a country that speaks 2 languages.
私、性的に。
私、野生的に。
知性と野生の結合。
バカ。
It's apparently the Japanese word for silly. Or so my local Toyota dealer told me. Then again, he might just have been playing silly sillies. But that unfamiliar brand of lager leads me to the 600 or so foreign commercials we sat through. A vigil which may well qualify us for one of those prizes they give away every year in Sweden. But among the things we learnt from seeing so many, apart from the fact that one guy is taking the same headache pill in 14 different countries, and he hasn't got rid of it yet, we learnt that a country's commercials can sometimes reveal more interesting sidelights on its way of life than any of its tourist offices.
haraka sana.
Pierce, Kowalski, Crumb, and Gallagher.
It's for my girl Shirley. We're gonna be married.
Dear John, oh how I hate to write. Dear John, I must let you know tonight that my love for you is gone. So I'm sending you this song. Tonight I'm with another. You like him, John? He's your brother. So true to you forever, dear John.
Play it again, John.
Ah, it's herbal.
So manly and fresh. Also Mark, really exciting and masculine. And you, what do you think?
I like them both. Aquavelva musk or Aquavelva herbal.
Et voici Trisa, brosse à dents rechargeable à dentifrice liquide. Un coup de pouce, chut, Trisa est prêt. Son dentifrice liquide se faufile entre les dents pour déloger toutes les impuretés. Trisa, c'est vraiment pratique pour se laver les dents dès qu'on en a envie. Trisa, brosse à dents rechargeable à dentifrice liquide incorporé. Chut.
これがナショナル乾電池ハイトップです。丈夫で長持ちの働き者です。この小さな物体に蓄えられたエネルギーは偉大です。トランジスタラジオならつけっぱなしで百数十時間。時計、カミソリ、テープレコーダー、フラッシュライト、それにおもちゃなどに使えます。私も愛用しているのです。
Doesn't it come as a relief to see some different commercials? Now, for our next collection, you just have to bear with me because I found a quite irrational fascination in watching the way other people do their weather forecasts. Now, why I call it irrational is because my actual knowledge of meteorology is so sketchy, I still retain the sneaking belief that thunder and lightning is God's way of telling you to finish your greens. Nevertheless, if you think that all the presentation of a weather forecast consists of is being able to stick on cloud cutouts and remembering to talk faster when you get to northeast Scotland, well, you may be interested in some variations we found. For me, the most satisfying was Hungary, because what they use are the sort of weather diagrams I can understand. Now, this was going to be the sort of day I always choose for a picnic. Starts out like this, then just about when you've got the food on the grass, hello.
A good shower around New Orleans, then the heavy rains moved from northern Florida through southern Georgia yesterday, and then the strong thunderstorm line plowed across.
In Chicago, they go in for incomprehensible moving satellite photos and cunningly concealed pull-out maps.
That's about it. Over the weekend, I'm predicting a big surge of rain to go right up the East Coast, over Maryland and Pennsylvania and New Jersey into southern New England, with some flakes and the cold air in its wake into the central Appalachians, while a new snow forms in the northern Rockies, comes out into the plains and blends with showers, the cold air to hold in the southeast, and cooler air to hit in the west by late Sunday. That's quite a stormy, wintry weekend.
That's something very rarely forecast in Egypt. Their chap not only used the thickest pointer we came across, but his cloud symbols were utterly unmenacing. None of that doom-laden look that characterises ours. These are positively appetising. Like little coconut pyramids, aren't they? In Sweden, we found the world's only seated weather forecaster, though after seeing their other Swedish items showing the goings-on of those two pairs of ladies' legs, goodness knows what's happening under his desk. Here, the weather not only bucks up considerably, but that thing he's using as a pointer looks like either somebody's car radio aerial or Terry Wogan's blankety-blank microphone. This was our first lady forecaster. TV came late to South Africa, and we supplied a lot of the hardware, including, it appears, an old Sylvia Peters dress. But it was the Philadelphia fella whose forecasts were couched in the most folksy style.
Let's talk about what happened real close. In Cambridge, Ohio, which is right about there, just west of Wheeling, West Virginia, in Guernsey County, Ohio, 8 inches of rain. I wouldn't kid you, all right? 8 inches of rain. Not that much. Okay. Now, as that stuff comes floating across here, these heavy boomers, we stand to get plastered pretty good. We got one bunch up a while ago, about 9 o'clock. Now some more rolling through right now, we understand, splashing and dashing and crashing.
As far as the surf conditions are concerned, they've been very poor right through the week. Wave height about half a metre, nothing to write home about at all. And this weekend won't be much better either. We've got the
I like their priorities in Australia. Give them surfing conditions before bothering with the weather. But that was nothing compared to the backup details you get in television's most talked-about city.
Humidity 68%, the barometer's 30.06 and steady. The wind is south at 7. No rain today, of course. Air quality today was moderate in Dallas. It deteriorated just a little bit, with ozone being the primary pollutant, but not a serious problem. In Fort Worth, 36, which still qualifies as good, mostly ozone. Pollen's 1,861 grains per cubic meter, 1,379 fungus, 342 grass, and the computer looks at the fishing activity now. It's not as good as it was last week.
And he goes on to give every possible variant of the Dallas environment outside of Sue Ellen's alcohol intake. I don't know what impression that collection left you with, but my feelings were that the one thing the world still needs is a weather forecaster who'll do requests. Anyway, as we'll be looking at some far-flung entertainment programs in part 3, let's tie off this section with some offerings from the furthest flung, because one of the many excellencies to be found in Australia's comedy programs was that quality Englishmen have always made such a big deal about, the ability to laugh at themselves.
Who's up? Oh, good day, Narelle. How are you?
Oh, g'day, Lois. Gee, it's nice to have you back.
Nice to be back.
What was it this time?
Me tubes again.
Bloody tubes.
Got a mind of their own, tubes. Anyway, what happened while I was away?
Oh, the social club threw a really terrific function last week.
Really?
Yeah. A Tia Maria and chop tasting party.
Again?
Yeah. Of course, this one was better. Joan found the chops.
Where?
Oh, they've fallen down the back of the cafe bar. Just shows you how long it's been since they cleaned it.
Yeah. Anyway, who was there?
Oh, all the girls. There was Joylene, Gayleen, Raylene, Carleen, Nolene, Pauline, Maureen, Noreen, Aileen, Eileen, Lurleen, Madeline, Marlene, Doreen, and Kay.
Is that all?
Pam had the mumps.
Bloody mumps.
Yeah, bloody mumps.
Got a mind of their own, mumps.
Yep. If you're out of luck and you need a truck. Call the superstars. K-Hertz. The trucks in an instant.
In Russia, the man in the street says,
Mother Russia, my lover, my wife. You are my country. You are my life.
in England they say,
O England, my England, thou sceptred isle, blessed by the warmth of Britannia's smile.
and in America they say,
America, America, home of the brave, all shall be free, none shall be slave.
and in Australia they say,
Only puffs write poetry.
that was one of the minor pleasures we collected on our red-eyed review of the world screen. I was actually told that the third toe from the left wants to leave the group and go solo. But here are a few other bonuses that we sort of picked up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Simon, and I'm a fan of Elvis Presley, a good fan. And I'm going to do a tribute to Elvis tonight, of the king of rock and roll. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Her name is Fafa de Belem, the sensation of two hemispheres. There's some interesting facts that we learned, as it were, en route, one of them was the information that Iceland never transmits any television at all on a Thursday, so as to give families the one day a week to talk to each other. And we also learnt that in Canada, Jasper Carrot and Pam Ayres are shown on a channel called Toronto Multilingual Ethnic Television, in the belief, apparently, that with those accents, they must belong to some ethnic minority. Back to our viewing, though, and something else that put a breeze in our sails was noting the various regional variations on familiar British programmes. In a Spanish sort of generation game, for example, they do a round where unskilled males have a go at feeding and bedding a small child, but making use of a live baby.
Ahora mismo, tiempo.
20 segundos.
vamos a comer hoy, ¿eh? Mira, esto es un barquito y hace pum. Toma. ¿No te gusta? Ahora haremos un avioncito, mira, un avioncito. Viene un avión. ¿No te gusta?
¡Tiempo!
¡Tiempo!
Bueno, ahora hay que
Bueno, que no quiere comer Raúl, no quiere comer. Bueno, pues que no coma. A ver cómo le cantamos, le arrullamos, le cantamos esa nana. ¡Ay, qué pum! Bien, Raúl. Bonita. A ver cómo se lo canta. Duérmete, niño, duérmete ya, que vendrá el coco y te llevará. Mira lo que te trata. Pequeñín. ¿Sí? Mira.
¡Tiempo!
Tiempo. Bueno,
Ahora
hay que
tiene que
arrullarla fuera del
arrullarla.
platito, no se vaya... No tiene mucha ganas de comer, Raúl, ¿eh? Es soltito, ¿eh? Bueno, pues usted tiene que verlas con él ahora. Vamos a ver. ¿Has comido? Vamos a ver cómo se lo canta.
¿Ya has comido? Ahora vamos a dormir. Hija mía, ¿qué me pesas? Y mamá, mira, vamos a dormir así. La nana.
Do that over here, you'd have the NSPCC cancelling all leave. And did you notice, incidentally, that the composer who wrote the tune of Rockabye Baby seems to be copying Spanish royalties as well? But staying with local variations, it has to be said that most of the indigenous versions of It's a Knockout that we looked at were not only extremely low budget, but they offered about the same entertainment value as a stubbed toe. However, because Italy and Japan did display a certain ingenuity in extending the frontiers of physical indignity, there were moments, just occasional moments.
1 minuto e 55. Stai fermo con le mani, 25. 3, 2, 1, stop.
さて次はマリちゃんが頭の上でティーバッティングしてさあ当たるかなさあどうかなさあフルスイングでいこうほらおおこれ見事これは見事でしたさあもう一回はいもう一回やりましょうはいもう一回はいフルスイングではいホームランで振ってくださいさあどうだマリちゃんさあ行くほら行くよああこれ痛かったあたたたこれ痛かったミス
No, cosa fai? Via. Quando avrete terminato potrete togliervi il cilindro e a quel punto sapremo chi ha vinto. Chi ha terminato può buttare giù il cilindro. Non fatevela legare. 1, 2, il controllo verrà fatto una volta fuori. 1, 2, controllo.
さて次はさ3枚の氷柱15センチの幅のやつをこれを一発で割っちゃうというこれは危険な荒技でございますね。これは世紀の一瞬。はいこれプロテクトしてねこれをはい呼吸をね整えてはいいくよ。さあこれは空手の技さあどうだはい呼吸を整えて神経を集中して1、2、3。頭の方大丈夫かなおい。
The kind of shows which bring a whole new freshness to the phrase barely adequate. In a book I was reading while we were researching this doomed venture, somebody said, I'm glad I'm not a foreigner because then I'd have to speak a foreign language and I wouldn't know what I was talking about. Well, when we came to look at foreign soap operas, the language problems were greatly helped by what you might call the long lingering looks factor. In such warmer climates as, say, Egypt and South America, whenever emotions reach a certain pitch of intensity, They seem to be expressed by deeply significant glances and sudden onsets of background music. A brief extract from Camelot. But proof that it does help to understand the lingo when emotions get steamy came when we looked through some old episodes of a long-running Australian soap opera classic. Nowhere else in the world did we find so many characters whose love lives appear to be governed by the planet Kinky.
It's just I feel so alone, so frightened. Bev, please? For me?
Oh, all right then. Just for a minute.
I feel better already.
I promise you're not going to worry about anything. Everything's going to be okay.
Okay.
What was that?
Nothing. Well, I said pulling 96 down already.
Silly.
Ron, have you seen Beth?
Oh, my God, no.
You want to know something, Harry? You could get arrested for what you just did.
Just couldn't help it.
Don't blame me. All I know is you came in like a lion and went out like a lamb. Where did I hear that?
One of your freaky pickups, no doubt.
You're just jealous. Because they're not impotent like you.
What? What did you say?
You're impotent. You can't make it.
Shut up, will you? Shut up, for God's sake! Shut up, do you hear me?
Possibly mind. There isn't a particle of you that I don't love or want or remember.
And you really don't mind me not being a girl?
What's the matter there, you hussy? You come out from underneath my bed, do you hear me? Heard? I'm warning you. I'll call the police if you...
We've come a long way from Emmerdale Farm. That would seem to be an appropriate note to finish on. If you now expect me to draw some cogent conclusions from my round-the-world TV tour, well, I'm afraid the best I can offer is as follows. There appear to be very few Japanese actors called Keith. Tibet is somewhat low on situation comedies. Iran has no real equivalent of the Kenny Everett show. And I didn't find any part of the world where you couldn't come up with the same verdict as you can here. namely that no matter how bad the telly programs may be, they're still better than reality.
Judging from the applause, I take it that you are a performer.